Okay, today's video is just going to be really quick. Kind of taking a break away from the true crime thing that we normally do. I really kind of wanted to pay homage to one of my favorite actors and comedians that actually resided here in Las Vegas. And although he didn't die here, he died in Los Angeles while filming a television show. He is buried here in Las Vegas. And the house that he lived in, his pride and joy, is still here now. It's no longer a home, it's a real estate company. An office for a real estate company here in Las Vegas and everything, which is reportedly one of the most haunted houses here in Las Vegas, if you buy into the supernatural. But that man's name is Redd Foxx. And for any of you who don't know who Redd Foxx is, you've been living under a rock. Extremely funny man. He was most noted for playing Fred G. Sanford in the television show Sanford and Son. But he was a very famous, very explicit stand-up comedian. And he didn't have an easy life. Not at all. But we're going to stop by his home real quick and get some footage of that. And then from there, we'll go on to his final resting place. Come join me. This one's going to be fun. Yeah, so what you see here is, this is the former home of Redd Foxx. As you can see, it's now Shannon Day Realty. This is it right here. Now, this was the home that he actually lived in when the IRS came looking for him. Famous footage of him standing there in nothing but a pair of underwear as they took out his Rolls Royce and everything. It was quite interesting, to say the least. Now, I was young. I was in my teens when that happened, but I still remember when it happened. I remember it being all over the news. This was originally all gated off. Right back there was his famous swimming pool. Now, I'm not going to walk back behind there, but I am going to walk up to the front and get his handprints that were on the door. Now, I don't believe this is open anymore. There's a sign that says it's for sale or lease. But this was his home. Shortly after he passed away, this was sold to a entertainer here in Las Vegas who claimed that this house was so haunted they had to keep a bunch of his stuff in here. But if you look right here, Redd Foxx, 1969. He was a very funny man. Very funny man. So next, we're going to go check out Redd's final resting place. And here he is. Final resting spot of Redd Foxx. Very funny man. Very funny comedian. Very generous man, from what I've been told. See people leaving different things for him. Very interesting. Did not know this, but his name was actually Sanford in real life. He changed the name to Redd Foxx. It was originally like a Redd Foxx, R-E-D-F-O-X. He added the X, the second X, to his name because his comedy was so dirty. And then he said he added the second D just to balance the two out. Very funny man. He was friends with civil rights leader and activist Malcolm X as well. Man lived a very interesting life. As reported, according to what Pat Morita told people, was that when he and his wife were trying to buy a home. He went to Red for a small loan that he planned on paying back just to put a down payment on the house. And Red pulled out his checkbook, wrote a large check. He didn't say how much it was, but he wrote a large check, handed it to him and said, "I don't want any of this money back. I just want you to pay it forward." Red and Pat were very, very good friends. Pat also died here in Las Vegas. I believe he was actually cremated here at the same exact area, and his ashes were given to his wife. But the comedy legend, acting legend, Red Foxx, right here. Now, if anybody has watched my first video, the one about Kim Bryant, about the young lady who disappeared from the Dairy Queen across the street from her high school, she's buried not too far from here. Because it was my first case, I'm gonna go over to her grave real quick and just pay my respects one more time. And here she is again. If you saw my first video ever, story about Kim Danielle Bryant, this is her grave. It's really sad. Even to now, I feel bad I didn't bring any flowers. Because if you look up, you can see all the wonderful, beautiful stuff that's around here with everybody celebrating. Such a beautiful mortuary, a big cemetery, big, beautiful. This is her. And as an extra treat, famous actor and model Tony Curtis, who was married to Janet Leigh, and they had a daughter. Some of you may know who she is, Miss Jamie Lee Curtis, who was just nominated and received the award for most popular scream queen. This is where he rests, right here. Different type of video, I know, but interesting. So it was a little bit different outing today than we normally do. But I recently got some advice from my beautiful wife and a friend of mine that I should probably do something a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit more, I like a better word, less depressing. I mean, it's still death, so it's going to be depressing all around, but still, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. One of the things I am going to do, though, is I found a headstone here that really piqued my interest, and I won't include it in this episode simply because I want to do some research on it, but it really piqued my interest, and if I can actually get a video done on it, I'll show you the video I shot of it at that time. But again, thank you for joining me. Remember, we're going to be starting our trip up to Idaho in just a little less than 2 weeks. Very excited for that one. A lot of good stuff coming for that one. But until then, deuces.